Winter storm is going to bring heavy snow, ice, and more heavy flooding rains to the United States as we go through the week. The polar vortex is here, and it's bringing the coldest air of the winter season to the United States. And as we go into the long term, we're going to see a quieter pattern to end February, but March starts off very active. We're going to talk about the long range forecast in this video as well. Hey, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Hunter here at Weather on the Go, and we're only 600 subscribers away from 127,000. And if you want to help me get there, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, especially if you do find it informative, and share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it. Let's look here over at our temperatures in the central US as we started off your Monday here. And by the way, it is President's Day. Notice here we are seeing the coldest air up into North Dakota and northeastern Montana. Temperature started up here around 30 degrees below zero, and we look at our wind chills this morning. Yeah, look at those nasty wind chills, 50 to 55 degrees below zero. Just dangerous wind chills up here especially into parts of Montana, North Dakota, even over into Minnesota and South Dakota. Anywhere south of there, we still saw wind chills sub-zero, but definitely a lot better than up there further to the north. Now, as we go into the afternoon, we're going to see temperatures warming up, and I put in quotes warming up because it's not going to be that warm this afternoon. It's still going to be in either side of zero across the north central US, and a lot of us are going to be feeling like 10 to as much as 30 degrees below zero all afternoon across the Dakotas, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and over here even into Michigan. Now, as we go here across the western US, we did talk about Montana, the colder air up there. Our wind chills this morning were around 50 degrees below zero across northeastern Montana this morning, and we look at our temperatures further to the south, down here into Southern California and Arizona near Phoenix. We started off in the 50s this morning. We're going to end up this afternoon down there actually in the mid 70s to even upper 70s. So definitely wonderful weather for San Diego. Also over there into Los Angeles and Phoenix as we go into this afternoon. Coldest of the air further to the north, and afternoon wind chills up there into Montana could remain around 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Same thing into Wyoming, parts of Idaho and Colorado, some of those higher elevations seeing some of that colder air. Across the east into portions of interior parts of New England where the snowpack is very deep across those regions, you can expect colder temperatures, and that's what we do see with temperatures near zero this morning, and our wind chills actually around 5 to 10 degrees below zero. And then we look at the afternoon high temperatures there. We're going to only be warming up here a few degrees and kind of remaining steady in the single digits above zero, but our wind chills are going to remain below zero, pretty much like what we see here this morning. So it's going to be pretty cold across interior New England. Further to the south, if you're looking for any warm air, temperatures down in South Florida this afternoon will be near 80 into the Naples area, Fort Myers, all the way down to Fort Lauderdale and Miami. So if you want some warmer weather, that is where it resides. Now let's look here at the polar vortex. It is in our backyard over Hudson Bay here today, and notice as we progress through the week, it's going to remain across southeastern Canada into Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday, and finally by Friday, the end of the week on February 21st, it's going to slowly begin to retreat further to the north, but that doesn't take away from all the cold air we see this week. So this is a 5-day temperature anomaly here, and you can see our temperature anomalies in the heartland of the country, the Ag Belt, are going to be around 30 to 40 degrees below normal of what we should see. And by the way, the below normal air moves all the way into North Florida and the Gulf Coast and South Texas. So it's not like it's not cooler than normal down there, just not as cold as areas to the north. Now let's look through the week. These are your wind chill values. This is what the air will actually feel like to the body as you walk outside with the breezes out there. Notice Tuesday morning, this is tomorrow morning, February 18th, widespread wind chills again across the upper Midwest and into the northern plains and northern Rockies regions. Similar areas to this morning, 40 to 60 degrees below zero are our wind chills. And then as we go into Wednesday morning, notice that becomes a little bit more widespread. Not as intense, but still widespread with 20 to 40 below zero wind chills across the northern U.S. And then more of the 10 to 15 degrees below zero wind chills. And that, by the way, could all the way down into North Texas, Oklahoma, northern parts of Arkansas. We have extreme cold watches and warnings across the plains now. And then as we go here into your Thursday morning, notice notice our wind chill values are still pretty cold out there as well. And then going into Friday, we start to moderate those wind chills quite nicely out there. Now let's look here at the precipitation. We have a winter storm that's going to be brewing across the central and eastern U.S. as we go through this week, bringing some snow across portions of Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, parts of southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and perhaps as far east with some at least snow flurries across western Illinois this afternoon. Now watch as we go into tonight. We're starting to see a low pressure develop down here in the Texas Panhandle. Going into your Tuesday, heavier snows breaking out, and these are higher ratio snows. We're talking 15-to-1, perhaps even 20-to-1 ratios, and this will be a dry, fluffy snow across Kansas, into northern Oklahoma, into Missouri, downstate Illinois, and that could extend over into Kentucky, and then an ice threat here near and just south of Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City in play there, down toward Lawton and Fort Sill, and then over there into Fort Smith, Arkansas, and Little Rock, and then rainfall, all liquid precipitation further south into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, as we continue to cool off, we may have a little bit of freezing rain try to develop into far north Texas, north of DFW, over there into Texarkana, and then into the Little Rock area, Pine Bluff, similar areas that just got done with severe weather. We'll see wintry weather, heavier snows breaking out from Tulsa eastward through Jonesboro, Arkansas, into St. Louis, into Paducah, Kentucky, Carbondale, Illinois, and over there into Memphis and Clarksville, Tennessee. And then as we go into Wednesday, that system very suppressed further south. A lot of the models agree that this is going to be suppressed further south, so not really impacting Indiana or Ohio too much, and more further south into Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina there. Rainfall, flooding rains potentially along the Gulf Coast and into northern Florida. And then as that system moves off the East Coast, maybe some snow into the I-95 corridor or coastal New England, but it looks like the heaviest of the snows will be offshore, may affect Cape Cod at the very most, but it looks like this storm track is going to be very suppressed there on Thursday and into Friday. Here's the snowfall accumulation we can expect here across the central United States, eastern and southeastern Kansas, extreme northeastern Oklahoma, downstate Missouri here in Illinois, western Kentucky, widespread 6 to 12 inches worth of snow, a plowable snow event here, and this will be fluffy, dry snow too, so it's going to blow around pretty easy, so just a slight 20-mile-per-hour breeze here will create some blowing and drifting snow on those roadways, so make sure to take it slow on those roadways. And then across Kentucky here, especially east central Kentucky, where we saw the flooding, we're going to see around 2 to 5 inches worth of snow, and same thing over here into West Virginia. Virginia, we're going to see, especially the eastern side of the state, around 6 to 10 inches of snow. That is up into the Delmarva, including southern Maryland, into portions there of southern Delaware, southern Jersey, especially far southern Jersey there, northern Jersey around an inch of snow, northern North Carolina, we could be looking at around 2 to 4 inches of snow there, and then up to the I-95 corridor. If you're northwest of the I-95 corridor, little to no snow. Boston to New York City, we're looking at around 1 to 3 inches currently. Cape Cod could be the big winner here with potentially upwards to a foot of snow, and that again depends on the track. If it goes suppressed even further south, Cape Cod will see less snow. If it goes further north, then obviously New York City to Boston will see a little bit more than 1 to 3. So it's all about the storm track here across the east. And by the way, there is a transition zone. We do have some ice here across portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and into the deep south. Some of these areas around a light glaze of an ice accumulation, not really worried about that, but we are a little bit more concerned about the Carolinas, as the freezing rain duration across this region is going to be a little bit longer than areas further west into Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Tennessee and Mississippi. So we're going to see more of those, tenth to 2/10 of an inch of ice, possibly a 1/4 inch of ice here, especially in eastern North Carolina. That would be troublesome for the roadways and power outage threat out there. Now, looking here at the all rain side, yeah, we could be seeing near the Gulf Coast like New Orleans, Gulfport and Hattiesburg, Mississippi, into Mobile, into Montgomery, down here into Tallahassee, Panama City, Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all the way to Wilmington, North Carolina. Could be seeing around 1 to 3 inches worth of rain, could cause some isolated flash flooding. Certainly not as significant as what we just had in Kentucky, but definitely seeing the potential for flash flooding as we go through the week. Now let's look at here at this map. Very interesting, and this kind of shows you the global weather pattern here. As this week we have the polar vortex in our backyard, right? It's in southeastern Canada, and that's creating all that cross-polar flow into the United States. It's warmer than normal in Asia right now, but watch as the weather pattern next week takes a big flip here as we go into next Wednesday or so on the 26th of February. colder in Asia. Now we're warming up in North America here. So a big weather pattern change is expected as we round out the month of February. And this will bring more mild Pacific air from west to east, slowly oozing eastward across the United States, starting off in the Intermountain West, making its way into the plains, and then eventually the eastern U.S. here, and we start to kind of lean below normal just because it takes a little longer to move further east. But this is the last week of February, and it'll be drying out. I know a lot of people in Kentucky are loving this weather forecast as we have drier weather, and that will help those floodwaters recede as we go through the rest of February here. And then looking at the early March setup here. This is an early look at the first week of March, the 1st through the 8th of March. Notice we have a little bit of some lowering heights across the northern United States, a little bit of some higher heights across the southern United States, indicating high pressure with the higher heights, lower pressure with the lowering heights in the blue. Notice we have a little bit of some colder air indicated here in the west, a little bit also in the northeast. This could be reflective of our snowpack probably. That's probably why we're seeing mostly some cold air up there in New England. Otherwise, warmer temperatures than normal in the Great Plains here, and we're looking at another active pattern trying to brew up with more systems coming in across the Pacific Northwest, diving to the south and east, and then up across the East Coast. This could still give us some snow here. Winter is not over. Just because we move into March doesn't mean that we can't see snow. Definitely a possibility. Probably not in the Carolinas seeing snow, but areas in the Northeast, the Great Lakes in the Midwest, the Ohio Valley could still have some snow chances as we go even into the first week there of March, and obviously into early March. We do have to watch the southern side of those storm systems for some severe weather and heavy rain potential. And just to confirm that with you, looking here at the European ensemble guidance, it is showing some pretty bullish numbers here for portions of the Northeast with snow in that first week of March. Same thing with the GFS, the American model guidance, and the CMC. This is the Canadian model guidance as well. All are in agreement that winter is not over. The northern and northeastern U.S., southeastern Canada will continue to see some heavier snow threats as we go even into the first week of March, and we'll continue to track them for you right here on this channel. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, make sure to give it a like down below, a thumbs up, share this video with friends, family, and on social media, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are only 600 subscribers away from 127,000. You want to help me get there, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, like the video, share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate that as well. We'll continue to track these winter storms, the polar vortex, the whole thing, all the way into early March and beyond. So we'll keep you covered here. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday out there.